What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back. I'm gonna give everyone a little bit of time to jump in here, so give me just a minute. Throw in a quick 30-second countdown, and we'll jump off from there. And we'll jump in. So. All right, what's up, y'all? So today we're in studio. Well, back in studio now. If you guys weren't with me a minute ago, I was out kind of out in the field covering what was happening in Tacoma right now. There's an occupy protest of sorts that's taking place at the Travel Lodge off Pacific Highway, where 16 rooms have been taken over by a group of activists from the Tacoma Authority now. And the whole concept is they're pushing for equal rights for housing. So interesting situation. It got wicked cold, and so I had to cut out. Actually, no, I had to get back here for this. So tonight we're going to be talking to a gentleman that I met in DC. Really cool guy, really predominant voice for the Lumbee tribe out of North Carolina, which right now is in a huge fight for, not a huge, well, I don't want to overgrandize, but they're in a fight for federal recognition. It's a big deal this year because they've been fighting for federal recognition for about 130 years. Now, they're in North Carolina. It's a big swing state for the current, well, it's been a big swing state for the presidential election campaign this year. And so both Biden and Trump have been there and have mentioned that they have said flat out that they're going to fully recognize the Lumbee tribe as federal recognition. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, so I've got my guy Boley, who I'm going to bring on here in just a second. And guys, like we do with any of these studio sessions, if anything is kind of choppy or if there's kind of feed problems, someone's saying there's bad picture, but it looks pretty good on my end. If anything comes up and turns into there's no sound. What are you talking about? There's no sound. Should be sound. Man, there is sound. Let me go here. But I'm gonna get this. Make sure we got this dialed in, and then we'll jump in. So yeah, the sound's good. We should be all right there. We're good on that. Good on that. Golden. All right, cool. All right, good setup. Good setup. All right. And again, you guys, if you would like and share the feed, I'd appreciate it. And we'll kind of kick things off here, like I said, in just a minute, with my guy Boley out of North Carolina. I'm not sure why the picture would be blurry. Man, it's really coming down outside. Crazy stuff. But my face is blurry. I don't know what's up with that. Let me see what's going on here. See if I can clear up the signal a little bit here. And bad video quality, huh? Jits, you hear that? We got quality issues on our video. This guy back here, tell you what. Let me see if I can't play with that real quick. Bully, if you would, just chill out for just a minute. I'll be with you in just a second, my guy. We're gonna see if we can't get this video quality taken care of. Only when I move, huh? Maybe I just won't move. Do this. Won't be choppy. But we're just gonna have to keep it going, guys. We'll make it work. Uh-oh, my guy just jumped off. All right. Not exactly sure what was going on with that. We had some nice flute music going there. Cleared in YouTube? Okay. Yeah, it's coming down pretty good outside, so it could be affecting the signal that we've got here. So I'd tell you what, I'm going to do my best not to move. I'm just going to slide in here, lock in. Picture is awful. That's no good. What to do here? What to do? Yeah, well, listen to the cool sound of my voice here. Video, not so much. I don't know what to say, guys. I'm sorry. We'll figure it out. Like I said, this is an iteration of process. So my camera is just trying to keep up with me, I guess. So we'll play with it. I'm just not going to move. How about that? But my guy Bully jumped off for some reason. So let's give him a call and find out where he went. So yeah, if you guys didn't get a chance to see, there was a lot of commotion going on over in Tacoma right now. Not a lot, actually. There's just, issues right now that are happening with this hotel that's being occupied. But we were out there for a little bit, and but I had to shoot back here to get this going. Sorry, I'm ringing my guy.
9-1.
I don't know where he went. Either way, we're going to talk a little bit about who the Lumbee tribe are, which is cool because I've been wanting to do a lot of focus on the indigenous people. And that's something that came out of a lot of the protests that I've been covering. One of the chants you hear quite often is whose streets, and the response, as I'm sure you guys all know, is our streets. And the issue that I had was, it got me thinking, and then eventually it was addressed, was that it's the indigenous people's streets if we're going to get down to technicality. So it just made me think about their views and opinions on a lot of American politics. A lot of the views and ideas that they're having with, just the overall effect of the protesting and things, how it's reached out and touched the Native community. So let me see where he's at right here. What's up, my man? You disappeared on me. What's up?
Nothing. You was going blurry, and then the shit was like reconnecting or some shit. I didn't know. Did you get the blurriness straightened out?
I hope so.
Okay, then. Let me log back in then.
Yeah, hop back in here. And if this, for whatever reason, acts up, I got another solution that we'll go ahead and use. So, all right. So give it a shot. So tell you what, guys, what I might end up doing here is if the picture is going to be all dicey on us, I'm going to go ahead and set it up a little bit differently so that we can have a better picture quality here. And so you might have to bear with me for just 1 minute. That being said, there we go. Picture is fine. Okay. Bully, how you doing, man? You in there? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to bring you on right quick. There you go. Guy.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Not much, man. Just finally got a chance to touch base with you, my guy.
I know, man. Since DC, right?
Yeah,
man. Let me hey, I got a question before we get really deep into the broadcast, right?
Jump into me. Go ahead.
You're from DC, right?
No, I'm in Seattle.
Oh, okay. Listen, Seattle, Washington. So it's cool, right?
I like it. Yeah.
So it ain't gonna be a problem.
What's that?
I said, do you ever smoke on your videos?
No, I don't smoke, but you can.
Oh, okay.
He said, oh, okay. Didn't take much convincing on that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to do it if you don't do it. I'm not on the video. But anyway, Yeah, man. Listen, I'm really glad, man. I really appreciate you stepping out to me, brother, and doing this for me because
Absolutely.
no one. I'm gonna sit down in a minute. I got my flag behind me, but no one
Yeah.
is stepping up, man, and saying anything about my people. And it's like my people have been lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. Now tell me a little bit about who your people are.
All right, we're Lumbee Indians. We come from Robeson County, North Carolina. Okay, I don't know the exact date that we were founded in Robeson County, but our base is here in Lumberton, Pembroke, Maxton, Roland, and we are the largest Native American tribe east of the Mississippi. Now, going back generations, man, you can look and you see the story of Henry Berry Lowry. Henry Berry Lowry, he fought in the Civil War because the U.S. government come there and killed his parents trying to take his land. So he went and fought the U.S. government, and basically saying, you're not going to do me and my family like this. And this is where our struggle began from, the story of Henry Berry Lowry. And and going out through time, he had children and stuff, and he had a granddaughter. Her name was Maddie Locklear, which is my grandmother. And all this can be researched and it can be traced. Well, she went to Washington, D.C. to get us get us recognized as Lumbee Indians. Because before then, the newspaper might be saying something about one of the Indians here at the house, and they might call us a Croatan, or they might call us a Tuscarora, or they might call us a Cherokee. And so there was 26 Indians from here at the house said, you know what? We're tired of being called whatever you want to call us. You are going to call us the Lumbee Indian, what we have been asking for centuries.
Now, why the Lumbee Indians? Like, why Lumbee?
Because the river down here is the Lumbee River. It ain't nothing but trees. Where we started off at down here is basically it was swampland. My people basically broke off from everybody else and become a nation within their own. And I'm glad I brought this up, CJ, because I had told you earlier to remind me of this point.
Yeah.
Now listen to this. The Cherokee Indian, they say, well, we don't know their lineage. We don't know if they are Native American, they're half Native American, 3/4 Native American, or even if they're Native American out. Okay, but I say this, just because we're the only tribe that is called by the name that we gave ourselves. Now, when the white man came over here, no disrespect to anybody white, it's just, it's the truth.
It's okay, I'm Scottish.
When the white man came over here, he gave the Cherokee their name because the white man could not understand how the Cherokee said their name in their own dialect. So he called them the Cherokee Indian. See, we didn't get that. No white man gave us our name. We gave us our own name. And the Cherokee Indian, they look at it and say, you never heard about a Lumbee Indian fighting in the War of 1812. You never heard about the battle with Custer and all the other generals. You never heard about a Lumbee Indian back then. Now, I'm going to drop a little history.
I'm here for you. Lay it on me.
Now, true indeed, my people were not called Lumbee Indians in 1812. Okay? My people, what were they called in 1812? They could have been called Cherokee. They could have been called Tuscarora. I don't know the blood that's inside of these veins and the blood that's inside of this heart. That same blood was spilled in 1812 by some warrior or some chief. They spilled that same blood that pumps through my veins. Now, in 1812, they may not have been called Lumbee, but they were Native American. And that's why my lineage is just as important as the Cherokee's lineage. because we know that the Cherokee died in the Trail of Tears. Perfect example. Okay, like I said, my people may have not been called Lumbee back in those days, but they were called something. They were called either, I'm a branch from either the Cherokee, okay, and the Tuscarora. Yes, we know this. We know that our bloodline has Tuscarora in it. We know that our bloodline has Cherokee in it, but we are called Lumbee.
Now, why is it important to distinguish yourself by Lumbee instead of just being identified as Cherokee or Tuscarora? Like, why Lumbee?
Because it's an identity.
Okay.
Okay. It's an identity because no matter where you go up and down the eastern seaboard, or matter of fact, out west, no matter where you go, like I hang drywall and I work on big jobs and stuff. And like I'll go into a convenience store like in Alabama and I'll start talking and, you know, the cashier will look at me and she'll say, where are you from? So I'm from North Carolina. You're a Lumbee, ain't you? We are we're known everywhere. We didn't want to be riding someone else's coattail.
Right.
So what we done in the 1800s, there was a band of Lumbee Indians who said, you know what? They're not going to teach our children the true values of what a Lumbee is, or the true values of Mother Earth, or anything relating to our people. So here's what they done. A few band of Indians, they built the now famous United States, UNCP, University of Pembroke.
Okay.
Now, this college, man, there's kids comes from all around the world to this college to learn, man, because we got great professors there. We got great people down here. And even though the white man would not step in, or I'm gonna say it like I'm gonna stop saying the white man because I don't want no one to feel like I'm racist, man. I'm gonna just start saying the government. But the government wouldn't step in and help us back then, just like now. They wouldn't help us back then. So that small band of Lumbee Indians, they said, we're going to build this school and we're going to make life better for our people. And that's the reason why we didn't want to be named Cherokee or Tuscarora or any other name, because we are a proud people.
Right.
Just like the Cherokee, they're proud people. And I don't think that all Cherokee is because I did a lot of time in federal prison. I was on the yard in Leavenworth Penitentiary with a lot of Native American brothers that was Cherokee, you know, and they didn't have no hatred in their heart for the Lumbee. But now they still look down and said, you're not federally recognized. That's the only thing that they can say about us, man.
Now, why would they not want to have? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Ask the question because I was just fixing to say what you're going to ask me.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, why would they not want you to be federally recognized?
Okay. Go ahead. You go, CJ. I'm going to hit this coffee.
Okay. Because I'm curious now. In some of the research I was doing before we came on, you know, I was looking at some of the pushback that you've received from. Now, just to touch base. Now, one of the things that we're talking about here, like I mentioned, is people like my gentleman that we're talking to right now, Bully, representing the Lumbee tribe out of North Carolina, have been pushing for their federal recognition for 130 years. And 130. Okay. Yeah. And basically they were recognized as a tribe back in 56. But for the last 60 plus years, nothing's changed on that. Now, one of the things I was seeing was that some of the other tribes in North Carolina were having issues, or were we're saying that there was a problem with you getting your federal recognition, amongst which was the Cherokee, the East. Now, what was it? The Cherokee
Eastern
tribe
Band.
of I'm going to say it wrong.
Eastern Band of Cherokee.
Eastern Band. There you go.
Yeah.
Eastern Band of Cherokees in Western North Carolina, not like Cherokee County and Sway County and all that. And then the Tuscarora as well, who apparently, and they, from what I gathered, they're predominantly located in New York, and that's where they migrated there. And the locals, the Tuscarora that are left back in North Carolina were saying that they're petitioning, saying that they should have rights too, and that the original Tuscarora that left basically abandoned their homeland. And so
Right.
there's been a lot of push. And now, but this initiative right now, that it's every year. You guys have been doing this every year, right? Like trying to get this
Every
federal
year,
record.
man. Every year,
And the
bro.
big push, this became a real political push. I know that Trump actually made a very public statement saying that he was, you know, and I actually have it right here. Back in October 10th, 2020, he said, you know, they put out a release, and it was saying that the Native American Tribes 135-year campaign for recognition by the federal government took a major step this week. On Wednesday, President Donald Trump released a statement indicating his support for full federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe in southeastern North Carolina. And then what he said was, after consultation with Senator Tom Tillis and Representative Dan Bishop and other members of the North Carolina congressional delegation, I'm announcing my full support for S1368, the Lumbee Recognition Act, which would make qualifying members of the Lumbee tribe eligible for the services and benefits provided to members of federally recognized tribe. The Lumbee Nation is forgotten no more, is how he worded it, which I thought was interesting, because I found out that Biden also he had the same, maybe not in the same wording, but he said the same thing, that he was going to go ahead and you know, back the push for federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe. But one of the things I found out was that the counties that the Lumbee reside in, like I said, Scotland, Robeson, and where we at over here? Some of the other ones here. You got
Cumberland, Scotland, Hope. You got Cumberland County, Scotland County, Hope County, Robeson County, Bladen County. I mean, there's a lot of counties there.
Yep. Harnett, is that one of there? Right, and you can see that area, those count. Yeah, I see that there.
Yeah,
and then what I found out was that up until like 2016, those were predominantly blue counties. They were predominantly Democratic supported counties. 2016, it switched over and went red, and this is a big swing state here. And like I said, in the current election. That being said, it makes me wonder if things, because, well, I'm not trying to talk too much for you, but I definitely want to hear your thoughts on, because you were very active in, I mean, I met you at a Trump, you were down advocating at a Trump rally. You were down there. You know, I have a pretty, there it is right here. But how many Lumbees would you say were out there in DC that day?
Hey, look, and I still got it, brother.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, look, I don't know if you can see it real good, but it's signed by Representative Vernon Jones.
There you go. Yeah, I can see that.
And also, look at this, brother.
Who's that signed by?
Donald Trump.
Oh, he signed it. Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Let me zoom in on that one there.
I spilled my coffee. But anyway.
So yeah.
You know, I don't have no, how can I say this to where y'all can understand? I'm not a poor person, but I don't have a bunch of money for Nancy Pelosi or any of the Democrats or anyone to come sue me for. So, you know, what I'm saying is my personal feelings is what I believe, and my freedom of speech gives me the right to say this. And here's what I believe. Now, you spoke of all the small counties here in North Carolina. Now, you're right. Up until Donald Trump, it was a Democratic state. Donald Trump came through. Well, he didn't come through in 2016, but he swung this state to red. Okay, now, this past election, Donald Trump, he's the first president to have ever come to Lumberton, North Carolina. We have never had a president in our history to come visit the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. And you know what? Our so-called chairman, Harvey Godwin of the Lumbee tribe, he didn't even go up there and even show his face to our president because Harvey Godwin is a Democrat. And Harvey Godwin does not want to see Trump win. But let me tell you something. Trump come down here, Trump said this. Trump said, the Lumbee Indian is forgotten no more. He said, if you elect me as president, I will sign that bill to recognize you as Lumbee Indian. And he said it like this. He said, if you make me president on the 3rd, I will sign that bill on the 4th. Now, I'm praying that Donald Trump still goes in there. But even if he doesn't, he gave us his word. Now, we can't help what happened in the rest of the country. We can only help what happened in North Carolina. And we gave him 69% of the votes down here, which gave him that 20 electoral votes. Now, fast forward. They put this ridiculous omnibus bill together. Okay. And they want to give $93 million to Pakistan, I think it is, for transgender programs. They want to give, what, $450 million to Ukraine, of all places, the same place where Hunter Biden was getting all his money, okay? I mean, why would we give $450 million? I mean, somebody's pops, the big dog's getting that 10% cutback, you know what I mean? Anyway, okay, the Lumbee Indian, like I said, gave Trump 69% of the votes down here. We did. Nancy Pelosi, with her long tentacles, like an octopus, she reached down inside of a 6,000-page omnibus bill. And the only thing that she took out of that bill was HR 1964, the Lumbee Recognition Act. Why would she do that?
Why do you think she did that?
I mean, we're going to think logically here. We're going to think like grown folks.
Right.
You got one, we gave Trump North Carolina, and then you have two, Nancy Pelosi takes the bill out of the omnibus package. That's not a coincidence, man. And then let me tell you what she does. She turns around and says, after Richard Burr and Tom Tillis and all of them get on her case about it, she turns around and says, okay, I'm going to reinstate the bill on the House floor as a standalone bill. Now, we got, once again, a unanimous vote all the way around except for one senator.
Who was that?
Joan Tester or something like that.
Okay.
He's the only person, man. We got 60,000 Lumbee Indians, and our voice is not even louder than his. He's got one voice, man. How in the hell did his one voice scream louder than 60,000 Lumbee Indians? I'm going to tell you why.
I'm going to tell
you why.
Answer for me.
This is what I believe, CJ.
Tell me.
Now, I want to take and do a little research. I want to see just how much money the Cherokee Indian donated to his campaign. Because if they donated money to his campaign, then somebody whispered in his ear, don't let the Lumbee get recognized, because if we get recognized, we will be considered the biggest federally recognized tribe on the Eastern Seaboard. And that's what the Cherokee is so afraid of. We are the ninth largest tribe in the nation. We are the largest tribe east of the Mississippi. Now, if we get federally recognized, Cherokee is afraid that, you know, we're going to be taking some of their money. I mean, I don't know. Well, let me ask you this right here. Why are you worrying about money that the government would give us when you ain't even worrying about all that freaking money that they're giving away overseas and stuff? That's what you should be campaigning about. And stop worrying about the Lumbee Indian and us getting federally recognized.
Yeah.
They're scared to death of this, bro.
That's a lot of money. I mean, we're talking casino money right now, right? We're talking gaming money. And you know, I was looking at, so if you look at it right here, one of the things I noticed whilst I was, let me see if I can find it in here somewhere. But so yeah, I'm going to pull this map up again real fast here so you can take a look at what I'm saying. So, but it's going to be not where we at here. Sorry. We're getting this down. It's a studio thing. So if everyone's seeing this county breakdown, right? So right over here in Robeson County. This is where we're talking about, like the 60,000 strong. This would be where the Lumbee River is. This is the land, the tribal land for the Lumbee Lumbee Indians. Right now, one of the things that to keep in mind is all over here on the eastern or the westernmost part of the state is Cherokee County, Graham, and Swain. Now, Clay, Macon, all that over here. Now, the Cherokee tribe has 2 casinos over here, Harrah's or Harrah's, however you say it, over in these 2 counties. And one of the things that I kind of saw when I was reading through things was that just south of Robeson County by an hour and a half is Myrtle Beach.
Mhm.
That's a huge vacation destination, draws a ton of traffic coming north and south.
Millions
Which
of
means,
dollars, millions.
if you guys had the opportunity to open any kind of gaming there in Robeson or anywhere in the surrounding counties, you would generate, a ton of money. Now I can see where on the other side of the state, that would be a huge financial deficit for the Cherokee tribe that already has their gaming set up. So
they would see their revenues go down dramatically, man.
What's wild to me is one of the things I saw too is that in Robeson, the population in Robeson County is more than 42% of the population of Robeson County is Native American.
Right.
Scotland County, 12%, in a state that only has a population percentage of Native Americans at 1.6. That's a massive grouping. Like you said, an incredibly large amount of Native Americans living in those 2 counties right there. That's,
man, we are the biggest population in North Carolina of Native Americans, man.
Yeah.
We listen, Robeson County is basically the home of the Lumbee Indian, plain and simple, man. Plain and simple. And listen, CJ, listen to this right here. I'm gonna give you another little nitbit about how my people have been discriminated against and have been, excuse my French, shitted on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in 1956, there were 4 other tribes that were designated Native American tribes, but their benefits were withheld also, along with us. But since then, since 1956, those 4 other tribes have been reinstated federal benefits, federally recognized. Why ain't we? We got these 4 other tribes that were denied these same federal benefits in 1956. You've given it back to them. Not only that, this is just how, the recognition is just bouncing around the Lumbee Indians. Last year in 2019, 7 Native American tribes were federally recognized. Just last year in Virginia.
Wow. Okay. The what's interesting too is that I was looking back in 2009. Actually, the United States Senate Committee on Indian Affairs approved a bill for federal recognition of the Lumbee. However, the bill included a no gaming clause, which is interesting. Right. That they would even put that in there, and that's where like that big politics, lobbying and whatnot, where it comes in. You gotta wonder, like, and then one of the quotes that from the it was from, sorry, I'm trying to find it here, was the principal chief Richard Sneed of the Eastern Band of the Cherokees. It was almost kind of a snarky comment, but he said that not only was he questioning the tribal identity but also Congress's decision and federally recognizing them, but he went on to say that they would gladly, accept. He said, let me see, how do you word it? He said the Eastern Band of the Cherokee Indians would welcome the Lumbee into the family of recognized tribes if they can successfully make it through the administrative process at the Department of Interior. But the way it was worded was really kind of like, yeah, okay, we'll see if it happens. And it was interesting because I didn't realize that there was so much like inter-indigenous like quarrel,
Yeah. Listen, check this out, CJ. They want us to go through all these hoops and red tape and all this bullshit, right? Okay. At one point, you were not federally recognized as a tribe. The next day, you were federally recognized because the government said you are a indigenous tribe of America.
Okay.
You once were not a federally recognized tribe, also Cherokee Indians. I mean, but you went through the process and you became a federally recognized tribe. But there was nobody fighting you. There was nobody sitting there on the other side of the aisle saying, no, don't respect. If you really want to get technical, okay, let's look at it from this perspective. What if the federal government said back then? What if the federal government said, we're not going to recognize you as a federal tribe because you fought against the United States government? Okay, what if that was one of the criteria for them not being federally recognized? Would the Cherokee have changed their name? You know, like if the government said, okay, we're not going to recognize you as a Cherokee, but if you change your name to Huwampta, we'll recognize you as a Huwampta tribe. Would they have done that? But then you sit and you criticize us because we want to be recognized as the Lumbee Indian instead of a Cherokee or Tuscarora or whatever. And I love all my brothers. I love all my Native brothers and sisters.
Sure.
But I can never stand by and watch another Native American tribe desecrate on my ancestors and say that you are not a Lumbee, you are not an indigenous person of this land. You got to be kidding me, man. I will fight to my last breath, CJ. And this is what makes me so mad. Harvey Godwin, our so-called chairman, he puts out a letter last week on the Lumbee tribe website stating that, you know, I'm sorry, guys, you know, the future holds better. And he's basically saying that, you know, our HR 1964 is dead.
Yeah, he says right here, actually, I got that quote up here for you. It says,
read it for me.
Yeah, well, just real simple. It just says, even after our dedicated recent efforts to get Lumbee recognition legislation enacted, it is with the heavy heart that I inform you that we have not been successful. And that was something he just said, I want to say, like a week ago, not even a week ago.
Right.
So,
okay, but now listen to this, CJ. You and I know, just like everybody else knows, as if a bill is brought before Congress, that bill will not die until the end of that Congress. Now, that bill can sit dormant. It can sit right there the whole time, and nobody never touch it, and it'll die at the end of that session. So I called Senator Tom Tillis's office, which, listen, bro, I've been on the phone this week with the White House, with Tom Tillis's office, Dan Bishop's office, Representative Vernon Jones's office, Richard Burr's office. I mean, I have been on all over these phones. Nancy Pelosi, I done left her like 4 messages, you know, wondering why she done us like this, you know. And you have to forgive me. Sometimes I go to rambling and I lose my train of thought. But what
you're talking to the right guy.
I'll remember in a minute, man. But you know, like Harvey Godwin, man, I don't understand why this man won't stand up and speak for us. And I called what I was saying. I called Senator Tom Tillis's office and I talked to his secretary. And she said, Mr. Locklear, she said, the bill is not dead. She said, but she said it's sitting dormant. She said, it still has a chance for life to be breathed into it. She said, because it will not be dead until, she said, but now when Congress closes the doors on the 116th Congress, and they get ready to open the doors to the 117th Congress, she said it'll be dead. They'll have to refile.
Yeah.
And I said, so you mean to tell me, I said, from here, and this was 3 days ago. I said, so you mean to tell me from this point until the day when Congress closes the door, somebody can pick this bill up and say, and breathe life back into it? She said, they sure can. At that point, I said, it's my mission to make sure Donald Trump or someone hears this message. Because like when I did that protest on October the 21st here at the house, in front of the Lumbee tribe for their mistreatment of the elderly, listen, bro, Donald Trump tweeted out 24 minutes later and says, I fully support the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. Bro, he did that within 20 minutes of our protest. So you know what that told me? Donald Trump seen me.
Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump knows this Lumbee right here. But Harvey Godwin, as I was saying, he didn't even go out there, bro, to even shake our president's hand. The first freaking time in American history a president comes to North Robeson County and you don't go shake his hand. So I call the tribe.
Right.
And okay, and I tell the secretary, I said, listen, I said, I just got off the phone with Senator Tom Tillis, the secretary, and she said that bill ain't dead yet. I said, I know that if nobody does anything to it, I said, it'll die this year in Congress. I said, but it's not dead yet. I said, please tell Harvey to redact, take back that letter and tell everyone the truth. That listen, the bill is not dead yet, but if nothing happens to it, it will die. Instead of telling everyone, you know, all hope is lost. Because like right now, CJ, if you go in around my hometown right now, man, and you talk to my people about, you know, how they feel about how we were done, everybody's got a sad face, man. And but now before this, let me tell you how they done us, CJ. They set us up on a pedestal, man. You got the president of the United States. You got the vice president of the United States saying we back full recognition of Lumbee tribe. They send this bill, Dan Bishop, Congressman Dan Bishop, send him and Tom Tillis, they send this bill to Congress, to the House. Right. We passed the House with flying colors, bro. Now, this is the first time in our history that we ever passed the House, okay? We go to the Senate. We got a 100% unanimous vote in the Senate, brother, for it to be passed on to the president's desk. Do you know the hopes and dreams that my people had, man, in those couple of weeks, knowing, man, we ain't never passed the Senate before. And everybody's like, we've never passed the Senate before. So this is reality. This just may be happening. And everybody's at me because everybody knows I'm the face for my people right now. And everybody's asking me, what do you think? I said, Donald Trump ain't never broke none of his promises. I said, Donald Trump said if we elect him as president, he will recognize us. I said, that's what's going to happen. But the tricky shit about this government stuff is that even though all that, man, even though we got all this support, this bill, when it was put inside of that omnibus bill, and Nancy Pelosi had her freaking, when she knew that she could reach in there and take that HR 1964 out, she did it, bro. And she discriminated against my people, and she shitted on my people so hard, man, that right now, my people, right now in Robeson County, man, if you would take a survey of the people in Robeson County right now, man, everybody's below depression, man. We went past being depressed and oppressed. My people's been oppressed for 138 years, CJ. And they want nobody, man. You're the only dude, man. And I salute you, brother. I salute you, man, for taking out the time, brother, to at least let me come on your show, man. And at least let somebody hear my struggle for my people. Because if this don't happen, CJ, and if Trump or someone doesn't hear this in the next couple of days, man, when Congress closes that doors, brother, I feel that we will never be recognized. Not in my lifetime. I'll be 49 years old my birthday. I ain't got 138 years in me, brother. And I feel like if it don't happen now, CJ, we will never be recognized, bro. We will never be recognized, man. Yeah. And I cannot sit and do nothing. I cannot sit and just keep my mouth closed. Right. And just say, let it be. I can't do it, brother.
Well, legitimately, that's why I'm talking to you today. When I met you in DC, you were, passionate, man. Like you're not just, you're not pandering to a thought process here. Like this is your soul, man. You can feel it. I felt it right off the bat. And I was like, this is a dude, you may not understand what he's fighting for, but you can't help but get behind your cause because of the passion that you carry with it. And I think that's important because we talked a little bit about things like, money and whatnot before, but to get right down to brass tacks, there's some other facts that people may not realize with the federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe. And so if you look at places like this bill, I mean, if it were to pass, would bring millions of dollars. Obviously, you got gaming, but beyond that, we're talking about healthcare and education as well, which is huge for that region. Because if you look at some facts about Robeson right now, so with the the Lumbee population, like I said, in Robeson County is massive, 60,000 people of the Lumbee tribe in that area, right? Now,
Right.
another
But
fact
hey,
about
CJ, see, listen, we're 60,000 strong. We got people live in Baltimore, all over. We're 60,000 strong.
okay,
But
okay.
most of us, I would say at least 40,000 of us live right here in Robeson County.
Got you. And the other thing about Robeson County to keep in mind, and this isn't me painting anything on Robeson County. It's an amazing place, I'm sure. But one of the things that to keep in mind there is that it ranked in the health outcomes and health factors for 6 straight years now by the University of Wisconsin. It ranked last of all the 100 counties in North Carolina. Now, keep in mind, one of the things to think about there is that with that large native population and the type of money that would be influxed into that community for health and education, it would be helping not just your people, but the state on a level, and those counties all collectively receive the things they need to help, get them the basic aid that anyone would hope for. And I think that, and then of course you personally are lobbying for your people in a big way. And I think that's important.
And see, and like when I protested in October, on October 21st, when I protested against the tribe, I didn't do this, man, to bring any negative publicity to my tribe or anything like that. But what I did, man, I wanted to bring awareness. And the lady, her name Tanya Brown, she works for Channel 15 News. She shut down the airways for a whole hour, bro. I was on the news on CNN, MSNBC, all of them talking about the Lumbee Indian. So I brought some awareness that day, all the way up and down the Eastern Seaboard, man. So I feel like, man, that my voice has got to be heard again one more time. Because if my voice can be heard one more time, bro, I feel like that bill might come back, man. And as I was saying about Harvey Godwin, I pleaded with this man, bro. I pleaded with this man to do what was right for the elderly people. And do you know right now, when did Matthew come through North Carolina? 3 years ago? 2 years ago? Do you know that there is still elderly people right now, bro, with blue tarps on the top of their houses from where the Lumbee tribe has not went in there and fixed their homes?
Now, why is that?
Because Harvey Godwin will not give the money up, brother.
So do you feel that you need to have a shift in the council, in the tribal council?
I don't want it.
No,
I don't want that. I don't want that headache. If I can stand over here on the sidelines and push the right person to make the decisions, I'm fine with that, CJ.
I'll tell you what, though, a lot of times people whose heart burns with the cause are the right people to help make those decisions, man. And I'm just saying, like, someone that I met within the last year who became a very influential person amongst their community. When I first met them, I asked, I was like, so what is it like being a leader in this community? And they responded, like, well, I'm not a leader. I'm just a normal person. And I was like, well, you've got hundreds of people right now that are following you, literally marching behind you.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with it or not, you're a leader. You know what I mean? And I think that especially this day and age where we're at in the current date, we need people like yourself, no matter what you're passionate about, to step up and be the ones that are going to start pushing for change, because we've got a lot of antiquated viewpoints that are in office, that are in, ideology. And we need to go ahead and allow ourselves a way to think differently and operate, organically. And I think right now, from what I've heard from you and with the times we've talked and from what I've seen from you, I don't know anything about Harvey Goodwin. I don't know if he's a good representative for your people. It sounds like you're not a big fan.
No one
but
is.
I know.
No, listen, CJ.
No one is. Well, it sounds like if there's
He's
a chance
like
for there
AOC to us, man.
Well, I mean, now, hey, with the tribal council, are they voted in?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that by
He's
members
gone.
of the tribe
He's
or
gone
by
in
family?
2000. He's gone this year. His last term is in November.
So when you gonna start running? What's up? You gonna start putting your own signs up?
Now, there's this lady, right? She's her name's Teresa Locklear.
Okay.
She's a Democrat. She wants me to run behind her. She's a Democrat, but she
She's
voted
a lot
Republican. She voted Republican because she don't like the way the Democratic Party is going. And I told her, I said, if I stand behind you with my voice, because everyone knows I have a strong voice down here at the house. I said, if I stand behind you and help you get elected as tribal councilman, I said, how do I know that when you get in there, your policies will be a Democratic policy? So I haven't decided if I will back her or not, you know.
And I gotta say, one of the things that I've seen in the big way, and I'm sure you've seen it now on a very intimate level, is the political pandering, and some of the things to think about is like the control factors, right? Like if we can control the majority, that type of mentality, and it's crazy to think that like some of the things about your area, like Robeson County, like I said, it flipped from being a blue to a red back in between 2012 2016. And 10 out of the last 12 elections, including Trump in 16, the Republican nominees for the White House have won North Carolina, right? And so it's a big deal to see that kind of like that shift, that political viewpoints, you know what I mean? And so you got a lot of promises that are being made, a lot of people that are saying a lot of things. And I mean, it's got to be frustrating, I would imagine, to have, I mean, especially this year, man, with how much crazy stuff's been happening.
It's been crazy, man. With Black Lives Matter, Antifa, this Hunter Biden story. I mean, just, and the way, listen, man, the way Facebook and Twitter has censored us, man.
Yeah.
It's hey, I know we're getting off topic about the Lumbee, but listen, bro.
No,
I ain't gonna lie to you. It feels good talking to you because no one around. I'm a small town country boy, okay?
Sure.
And most of my homeboys, they don't want to hear nothing about no political shit. And I'll go
right.
there and I'll start talking political, and they'll be like, they're like, man, get out of our face with that. But listen, on this political thing, now only news I watch is OAN and Newsmax. I even stopped watching Fox, man, because when they started calling Biden president-elect, but just like this morning, okay, I'm watching the news. Okay, the guy from Delaware that got the laptop from Hunter Biden, you see where he sued Twitter for $500 million for defamation of character, right?
I didn't see that. No.
Listen, okay, he said that when Twitter got up there and said that, that this guy, the information that he was spreading was Russian disinformation and that he was a hacker. Now, this is the guy that Hunter Biden gave his laptop to, right? Well, when Twitter called him a hacker, he said that he couldn't get no more business. People was like, you're a hacker. I'm not messing with you. He said that he was getting death threats, so he had to shut his business down. So he just put a lawsuit against Twitter yesterday morning, bro, for $500 million.
That'll make people listen.
$500
million. Okay.
But like with me, okay, my cause is for the Lumbee Indian, but I represent Donald Trump, and I cannot help it because of his policies, because of his words, man, and how we stood behind the American people. And Facebook has blocked me, bro. Do you know I got 7 Facebook pages?
Well, I've noticed you sent me 2 or 3 of them. Yeah.
Hey, that's because Facebook blocks me, man, because I represent Donald Trump, man. Everything I do on Facebook, man, if I see something about Donald Trump, I'm going to post it. Because I'm going to tell you something, CJ. If Donald Trump don't go in that office on January the 20th, this country is screwed, man. We are screwed, bro.
I hope, man. I hope that no matter what, my dog in here, I hope no matter what happens, man, we can rally around the fact that we're American. End of the day, we got that red, white, and blue that's saying behind you. We'll have a president that's at the front of our country and the vanguard of our nation. And for 4 years, red or blue doesn't matter. Like, let's rep for America. and try to make positive changes with whatever we have, you know. And there's so much inner human fighting where we're fighting about things that we don't need to be fighting about. You know what I mean?
Right.
Feel passionate for sure. Yeah, absolutely. But when it all settles down, like, we're going to have to work collectively, right? So collectively, let's go ahead and start operating and appreciate we got a lot more similarities than we got differences.
Somebody asked me, it was about 2 weeks ago, and they told me, they said, what are you going to do now that Trump is out the White House? And I told him, I said, let me tell y'all something. I said, the reason why I represent Donald Trump so hard, I said, is because of his policies, you know, how he kept his word to the American people. I said, but one thing you got to understand and respect about me is this, is that I'm a patriot and I respect that White House. That's what I respect. Hold on, TJ.
Good.
I meant CJ. But I told him, I said, I respect the White House. And if Joe Biden is in that White House, and if he does what he's supposed to do for the American people, hey, I give him a hand clap.
There you go.
But I'm not going to stand and say thumbs up to Joe Biden if he's not doing what's right by the American people. Sure. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's my thing, bro. Put America first, man.
You know, and second, if you want to look at it, I mean, like I said a couple times now, Biden actually he said the same thing Trump said, is that he wants to fully federally recognize the Lumbee people. So
yeah,
I mean, now okay, let me ask you this question first. So what happens?
CJ, let me run in the house and grab my phone charger because I'm on 4%. Give me one.
You do that. Go ahead. Huh? Go ahead. Well, now that it's just you and me here, everybody. No, it's an interesting conversation to have here. I know we got some people in the comments here that are repping for different tribes, which is really cool to see. One of the things I was curious about when talking to Boldy was, like I said in the description, was the effect of American politics on some of the tribes that are out here, like the Navajo Nation, the Cherokee Nation, and the way that it's affected them and how they've been dealing with things like, you know, the political campaigning that's been going on throughout, you know, this last, 2020. But it's really interesting to see how it's all played in, you know, and it's it just blows my mind to see it doesn't matter what, especially when you talk about group control. And now this year has been crazy for that. You've seen so many different small groups that people, we're going to go ahead and say, have fundamentally believed that are being manipulated to serve a purpose, serve a cause, a greater macro cause. And that being said, those are operational groups that are out here doing things in these streets, be you right or left. But then you got people that are kind of being marionetted or puppeteered around through the political pandering. And that, I think, is just tragic to see, and it's sad to see that there's a lot of people that have made big promises, be you, Trump, Biden, anyone else in the world, and falling short, because what happens is you build so much hope in the people that you're talking to. And much like, like Boldy here with the Lumbee tribe, you build so much hope in people when you give them that breath of recognition. And like he was saying, that when they said, yeah, we're going to fully recognize the Lumbee tribe, that for weeks, his county was in celebration. His people were overwhelmed with joy. And I think that's something that we can all look at is like, man, it sucks to have someone tell you something and then go ahead and backdoor you, right? And then realize you were duped, but that false sense, that false hope, it gives you a lack of trust. And then we get to where we're at right now, which is to say that, like, there's so much, like, lack of trust in everything that happens with just people in general. Like, I mean, and I could talk about this on a personal level with what I've had to deal with. People just look at you and they're like, you must be so-and-so, or the term spy has been used a lot. And that, I mean, that's almost comical, but all things considered, it's funny to see the fact that, like, it looks like his phone actually died. He'll be back on here in a minute, but it's wild to see that, like, people, are being, they're being lied to a lot. And someone said earlier, right up here, and I'm sorry, excuse me, I've been trying to, oh man, what's up, buddy? What's up, guy? Sorry, my dog here is excited to be a part of the process here. Come on, bud. What's up? Yeah, I see you, guy. Okay. Yep. That's me. But where are you at? Basically, right here. It's talking about. Oh, anyway, it's up here. Talking about politicians and about the government. How you have to be cautious no matter what you do, no matter what's going on. You can't really trust what's being said. And that's sad to think that this day and age we can't put credence to like the words that are being said to us by people in leadership, because they're put there by the people. And that is sad too, that we can place somebody in a position of power, and then that same person will flip around and go ahead and give us a bunch of bullshit and lies. I'm not saying that it's happening at all times, but it's definitely happening. And it's embarrassing for me to look at it. I'm like, damn, man. Like, cause you feel you got like egg in your face type thing, which is an odd expression to say, but it's legit. It's a sad scenario. There you go. You got your phone charged up?
Yeah, man, I got it charged up.
Okay, good.
Apologize about that, man.
Yeah, no, you're good. You got a chance. I was just talking about how it's sad to see the people get lied to, and how the circle that we used to trust, right? So, my dog he jumped up in my lap and he's just being an attention hog. 1 second, is my guy? Come on over here.
All right, beautiful.
Sit in the chair right there, bud.
That's bully blood.
What's that?
That's bully blood.
This is Jits.
Oh, okay. But yeah, man, we get lied to all the time, man. And I'm gonna tell you something, CJ.
JITS.
It's hard for me, man. Like me and you're sitting here having a conversation.
Yeah.
And you go to lying to me about something, and I know you're lying. I can't sit here and have this conversation with you and not tell you, hey, bro, you can stop lying now. I know you're lying. And the same way with our tribal government down here. He spreads information from the tribe that how they're doing so much to help our people. And they're really not doing shit. And the reason why he does not want us to get recognized is because once we're recognized, the money that the federal government gives us, it don't come down here to Robeson County to the tribe. It will come straight from the Indian Bureau of Affairs. And each family, just like the Cherokee, I was in federal prison, bro, with Cherokee Indians, and they still were getting checks while in the federal custody from the Gaming Commission. And see, the Cherokees, and I was going to mention that a while ago when you were saying about the Cherokee, with gaming and Myrtle Beach and stuff. When you come down 95, coming out of South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, when you come down 95, Lumbee country is the first place you hit when you hit North Carolina. When you come past south of the border at Pedro's, and when you cross that border, you in Lumbee country. So if the federal government recognizes us, okay, we got a major interstate right here it's called 74. 74 goes all the way from the East Coast all the way up through Charlotte, and I don't know how far 74 goes. Well, 74 and 95 cross just like this. Okay, you got 95 coming south. Okay, and then you got 74 going east to west. Okay, if we are allowed to put casinos right there, that stops all the business coming from Myrtle Beach and all the way down south. It will stop that business from crossing over into North Carolina and going over to the west side of North Carolina to the Cherokees to gamble. And that's what they're so afraid of.
Yeah. That's interesting to think that would be an issue. You know what I mean? Like you would assume that, the big problem would be more logistics thing, right? Like that's why there would be hangups and snares, but it seems like there's always more of like a nefarious undercurrent, right? Of like the reasons why things are or aren't moving in a direction that they logically should, right? Like it doesn't seem like there's any logical reason why something shouldn't happen. You got to wonder why. And typically what I do is first start follow the money, you know what I mean? And then
follow the money.
Follow the money. And if it doesn't make sense, be like, all right, let's find the money trail and then we'll figure out what's really going on, because that seems to be a logical explanation. And it's scary to think that though, because money's controlling everything. Look how, hey, you mentioned that, bro.
Look what Facebook done. You look how much money Mark Zuckerberg gave to Georgia. No, I'm sorry, it's Pennsylvania, I think. He told them how much money was that he gave them? $200 million, I think.
Posting it. Someone in the comments, go ahead and post that up. How much money did you said did Bezos give Georgia?
No, Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, Zuckerberg.
Facebook.
Oh. How much money did now? What was he giving money to Georgia for?
No. Listen, here's what he did, CJ. He gave.
I missed something. Go ahead.
Say what now?
I missed something there. Go ahead. Yeah, about who's giving money to who. Go ahead.
Okay. Mark Zuckerberg, he gave, I think it was Pennsylvania. It was Pennsylvania or Georgia. It was one of those swing states, but I think it was Pennsylvania. Okay, here's what he does. He gives them $200 million. And he told them this. And he wrote it in a letter too, brother. He said, okay, I'm going to give you this money. It's going to be for the elections, you know, to set up poll washer places, to pay for drop boxes. I think it was Georgia. To pay for drop boxes and all this other crap, right? And he said this. He said, if you don't do exactly what I say to the letter, there is a clawback clause inside this negotiation. Meaning this, if he don't like the way they spent his money in the election, he can take that money back from that state. Even though they spent all this money in the election, he still can go back there and demand that money back from that state, and the taxpayers has got to pay for it.
So good luck getting it. You go ahead. You can give it to me. Good luck getting it back. So Mark, I'm sorry, but
that's the thing that I'm talking about.
That's already won. So I don't got a little love for that. I mean, I got love for Facebook.
Okay, let me ask you this right here, CJ. How is it that two people can control what the American people hear, bro? Mark Zuckerberg and what's his name with Twitter? Mark Dorsey with Twitter.
It's all money. It's all money.
But listen, we have a constitutional right to free speech, but to the freedom of the speech, man, the freedom of the press. How can you sit and say, okay, when the New York Post put up that post, how could you take that down? And that's the fourth largest newspaper in America. How can you censor them? You know, you're basically telling us, I don't want you to hear what they got to say, so I don't, I'm a censor it. That's not right, brother. Yeah. That is not right. And that's why Trump and today, Mitch McConnell, you see the lawsuit he put in against Section 230 to have it repealed.
No.
Yeah, you're pretty busy. You need me on your team, man, for a reason.
For real, man. I was out covering something right before I came on tonight. I was out covering occupied protest of a hotel in Tacoma.
Man,
here.
Listen, you need me on your team, brother.
Hey, we're already on.
Research a lot, man.
We're good. Okay, well, hey, welcome aboard. You're already on then.
Yeah, man.
You're already now, man. You're in there.
Hey, I could be your arm down here in North Carolina. You know.
I don't mind it, man. You're a big dude. I could take that. Yeah, I'll work with that. You guys may not notice. My man is like,
and it's free of charge, brother. I'm not charging you nothing. I just love the fact that you got me on your show, man.
I'm quoting you on that. He said he's going to charge me nothing. All right, but
nothing.
The things make you do, you're going to be like, damn, I should have asked for some money. Should have asked for some money.
Hey, all I'm saying is this now: if your ass tells me, look, you got to go over here. You're paying for the gas. I'm not paying for the gas.
Well, you just said you're going to charge me nothing, man. I don't know if you backtrack on you backsliding on me already.
I'm not charging you nothing.
He's Zuckerberging me right now. He said, I'll give it to you. Okay, well, we can work with that. Yeah. We work with it. We'll work with that. We'll work with that.
January the 6th, bro.
You know, people actually right now, like my phone's been blowing up. People are just hitting me up. Are you going to be there? Going to be there? Going to be there? And it's just like, I know the hotels are shutting down. And what he's talking about right now, guys, is January 6th. There's a big call to action in DC by, I guess, what would you say, like Trump supporters and the right, the GOP,
Patriots.
Okay, we'll go with Patriots. So, and so it's a big deal. But they've said that they're shutting down hotels. kind of, getting ready for the worst right now. So honestly, man, I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, last time I was in DC, just, a couple weeks ago, I just dealing with all that animosity and
Yeah.
anger and people that are just coming at you from both sides. I had like, even on the right side, what's crazy is even on the right side, people didn't see this, but I was just kind of making my rounds. I'm walking by myself, and a dude rolled out of my hand and threw it. And he was like, "Fuck you, CJ." And I was just like, "What?" Then some posted a tweet that was like, "CJ's an Antifa spy." I was like,
"What?"
I'm pretty sure Antifa would laugh if they would have seen that, because they don't really like me all that much. Whatever. And again, I'm just a dude talking to people, but for whatever reason, people get this crazy idea they're going to go ahead and figure out like what I'm all about and then make it the worst they possibly could. But it was crazy. I was just like, man, you got to be kidding. Luckily I had a good phone case on it, but it went skipping. And I'm just kind of shaking my head like, you got to be kidding me, man. That's when I was like, I'm going home. I'm done, man. I'm getting out of here.
Hey, listen.
I'm going home.
That night, I seen you one more time before we left. I was over at the hot dog stand, right? And you was walking past, you and your girl. Okay. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to see CJ later. Okay. Yeah. Bro, I lost where I parked my vehicle at. I had parked it over by the White House, right? And I couldn't for the life of me remember. And my phone goes dead.
What do you mean parked it by the White House? The White House is like 26 blocks. Where?
Black Lives Matter Plaza.
There you go.
Listen, I got this on. I'm carrying this. And a black dude there, right? And he's got this the little boosters for your phone. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm at. And I look at him and I said, man, please, I'll give you $10 if you just let me get 5 minutes so I can go to my GPS and backtrack myself. And at first he was like, nah, man, I'm fitting to leave. And I was like, man, I appreciate it, man. And he was like, but you need to get away from here, bro. Now, I don't know that this is Black Lives Matter Plaza.
You're just lost.
I said, I'm trying, man. I said, but I don't know where my van's at, and I'm lost, and I don't want to be here. And it's like about 11 o'clock at the time. And I'm like, I really don't want to be walking around these streets at 3 o'clock in the morning. So what I do is this, I take my Trump hat off.
Yeah.
I take my my Trump sign, I kind of like tuck it, you know what I mean? Put it behind my back and stuff up under my flag. And with this lady and this man was generous enough. I had a debit card, right? But I didn't know how to use it with the little scooters. Yeah. And so, actually, it was my GoFundMe page card. Well, I'm explaining the situation. I ain't even gonna lie to you, CJ, man. I was so stressed, man, that day, man. I broke down in tears and was like, I just want to get to my van, because of all this bull crap. Well, they let me use it. I find my van. Okay, I come back home, right? So I'm watching the news and they start talking about Black Lives Matter Plaza. So I'm like, oh my God. I tell my old lady, I'm like, baby, I was standing right there. And she was like, what? I said, I was standing right there. Because I see the kids over there, they're jumping on their bikes and their skateboards and stuff. And I didn't know it was Black Lives Matter Plaza, bro. And I'm like, man, I could have been killed right there, Papa. And it's amazing. It's amazing to me.
Man, I'll tell you this. You know what's crazy? Go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay, we got a little bit of a delay, but I was just going to say it shouldn't matter, though. You know what I mean? It shouldn't matter that you're wearing a Trump hat in Black Lives Matter Plaza or Liberty Square or the Patriot Corner or whatever anybody wants to call it, that you're wearing a red, white, and blue shirt, whatever you have on. That shouldn't matter. None of that should matter. It shouldn't be an issue that you're anywhere in the democracy, cradle of our nation, wearing stuff that supports the president of our nation, no matter who that might be, whether you like them or not, but that you might get served with a brick to the head because you have on a hat that somebody over here doesn't like. That's right. Is astonishing. It blows my mind that people are at a point now where they're able to tell you, you're a man of color. Let's get real about it. Like, you You look at me, I'm a very white dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a contrast right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the fact that you're in what would be considered Black Lives Matter Plaza, who depends on who you're asking, and they're gonna say, "Hey, man, you shouldn't be here. Like, you should skip. You should should kick
Right.
on down the road." Like, why would this be a problem? And it's all these there's instigators, in both groups that are causing issues. I get that, but what gets me is that that's a problem everywhere in the nation. Like, you're not allowed, and you're not allowed, and you are, but you aren't. And that censorship we're talking about isn't just online. It's in the streets. It's the streets where you see it in a big way, where people are out here and they're saying who is allowed and who isn't allowed. Now, I got it from both sides in DC last time. That's when I was like, I'm good. I'm going to skip myself because this is getting ridiculous. Right. I'm to that point where I'm like, ooh, like, next person, right? Like, and I'm like, I don't like being that.
Yeah.
But I was like, go ahead and tell me that you're going to take away my rights, my ability to be in these streets, and you're going to physically threaten me. You're going to put physical harm on my head because you don't like something about me that you don't even understand. You don't even talk to me. You don't know me at all, but you're going to pass that judgment, and you're going to and then it doesn't matter right or left because I got it from both sides. They're like, who are you? Right. Why? I'm like, it doesn't matter who I am or why I'm here. It's none of your damn business.
That's right.
I'm out here because I want to be out here. That's my right to be here as an American human.
You're God-given right, man.
And that's where we have issues, is that I'm looking at all these people and I'm like, man, all the fighting, I mean, that's fine, but you fight your fight, you fight your fight. I'm gonna fight my fight, but I'm gonna go ahead and walk my fine line. I'm gonna do what I do. But so many people are like, you're not allowed to. You have to. And people are trying to pull you, and they don't appreciate, man. They're like, you're a strong dude, like, you're allowed to believe, think, act, feel, be whoever you want to be. That's your choice. And there's no one else's to do that.
Because this ain't Nazi Germany.
No. And what happens, man, is when, like tonight, when I was over in Tacoma and I'm following this, this story that was going on. And one of the things that came out of that got me was that, like, if your idea of your liberties harms or infringes on somebody else's rights or liberties, that's not acceptable. No longer is that that's not an amicable was a term, an amicable, amalgamation, if I'm saying it right, of the proper ability to use your rights. There might be a twist of my words there, but like, if you're infringing on
what you're saying,
rights, yeah, okay, good. I'm stumbling. But if you're infringing on my freedoms because you feel like yours are more important, you're in the wrong.
That's not a democracy.
That's not a democracy. Thank you. And that's where we live. We live in a democracy.
That's right.
We operate in a democracy. That's like right. I was saying when you were gone, like, we voted people into office using that democracy. And so where we're at right now, it just blows my mind that people feel like they've got the right to say who can, who can't, who will, who won't. And it's like you're saying with big tech, with the money that they're able to kind of say, hey, these are the rules now for operation. Like, when did it get to a point where someone's allowed to say, like, it used to be like a newspaper back in the day, remember, like, they'd print something and it was like, extra, read all about it, like, you couldn't stop that. I mean, granted, there was going to be influence there, but that was ink. Yeah. You put that on the ground, you pick it up, 25 cents in the bucket, it's yours to read. But nowadays, people are so afraid of, any conflicting viewpoints and whatnot. Anyway, I'm going to get off
narrative, man.
It's crazy.
See, America has a narrative right now. Yeah. From the Democratic side. It's not from the Republican side. It's from the Democratic side. And that narrative, if you go against that narrative, you're wrong. If you say something that they don't like, you're a racist. How can you tell me I'm a racist if I feel like, and 90% of Americans feel the same way, that Black Lives Matter does not have the right to destroy America. Antifa does not have the right to destroy. They do not have the right to go there and destroy a statue because they feel like it's racist. They came here. Black Lives Matter come down here to UNC Pembroke, and they wanted to march. They marched. Was they met with resistance? You damn right. Because they was hundreds of Lumbees out there that day, and they were armed to the teeth. Now they say, oh, we was just doing a peaceful protest with the college. But now if they wouldn't have been them armed Lumbees out there that day, who's to say they wouldn't went there and went to turn up shops? These mom and pops grocery stores down here in our country. We wouldn't fit to let it happen. But do you know that because we protected our town, we were racist? I guess that we were supposed to stand back and let Black Lives Matter come to Robeson County and destroy it. But let me give you a little history check. In 1959, the Ku Klux Klan come right over here to Mills Pond in Maxton, North Carolina, and the Lumbees run their asses up out of here in 1959, and we run Black Lives asses up out of here in 2020.
It's an
I don't
interesting
care.
contrast.
You're not going to come here and tread on us. You can believe that.
Okay. Okay. You know what's interesting is to play, play the devil's advocate. Is that like and not even devil's advocate. This is an issue that I have, is that I'm a firm believer in our rights. Our constitutional.
Yes, me
Our
too, man.
Constitution is, I believe, and I believe that it was written with the best understanding of what we could do with what we had at the time, mind you. Our liberties, our civil liberties, apply to everybody.
That's right.
Everybody.
That's right.
And when it comes down to it, my right to act on my constitutional rights, my right to do that, my ability to do that, extends to you as well, whether or not I agree with you or not. And so the issue that I have with a lot of that is, and find me on this one, but that preemptive strike, like, we're not going to let you because you might. And I'm like, all right, well, let's pump the brakes a little bit here. Let's go ahead and let it happen, and then we can respond accordingly. But it's stopping someone from, like, who knows, that BLM march might have been peaceful, might have been very, because I've covered many that have, most of them actually, that didn't end bad. But you've got these antagonist groups that get mixed in there. You know what I mean? Then you have these standoff situations, and then things fly to the south, and they become what we've seen happen so many times now in America. But the freedom of speech, your right to protest, I firmly stand behind that. You know what I mean? But I also stand behind, the Second Amendment right to bear arms. You know what I mean? And so there's.
But CJ, we got a right.
All of those are there for a reason, right? And
we have a right to protest, brother. But we don't have a right to protest violently, man. That's nowhere in the Constitution. No. The Constitution
that becomes
says
a right.
You have a right to protest. But the Constitution doesn't say you have a right to go and destroy statues and destroy city blocks and wind up creating a Chaz. Come on, man, an autonomous zone. I mean, why is it that in America, the most freest country in the world, man, why are we starting to act like Venezuelans or Germans back in the day? Hitler, I hate to get off on this, but I will. Back in the day, Hitler, what is the first thing that he done to all the people? He took their guns. He knew, when I get ready to start and take Germany over, I don't want to be, worried about, people being armed and fighting back. So he takes their guns. Now they're defenseless. And that's what AOC and all that, Nancy Pelosi and them, and Joe Biden, he's going to come take your AR-14s. Y'all better watch out. You can't do that to Americans, because the forefathers, they knew that one day that they would be a tyrant government. And that's the reason why they said, you shall have the right to bear arms against a foreign or domestic government, tyrant government. They give us the basic liberties of life, man. And all they did was copy the basic from God, because God gave us the liberty to breathe. He gave me the liberty to move. He gave me the liberty to speak my mind. And then you come back because some man was, it was wrong the way they did George Floyd. I ain't going to lie to you. I didn't like it myself.
Right.
And I ain't got nothing against a black man's life. But I do have a problem with Black Lives Matter, because Black Lives Matter does not matter than my Lumbee life matters, or your white life matters. Your life means just as much as mine, just as much as theirs, man. And they don't have the right to come into America and try to change the way we have lived for centuries, man. I tell my girl, she's like, why do you fight so hard? I said, because I want my son to grow up in the same America that I grew up in. You know, I said, I don't want my son growing up in America where the borders are open and anybody and their mom and daddy wants to come across that border, they can. You know, I said, I don't want my son to live in a country like that. You know, to where our government, like right now, that omnibus package and the stimulus packages, that ain't nothing but pure socialism, man. And everybody here at the house, they say, why are you so against them giving out $2,000 checks or $600 checks? You know, I tell them, I said, because it's socialism. Yes, we do need the money, but most importantly, open the country back up. Let us go back to work. And we won't need you to give us $2,000. I would rather go to work every day than to sit here and wait for you to give me a $2,000 check. But not only that, when they give us that money, CJ, you know who's going to pay for that money? Our children, man. Our children is going to pay for all this money, man, that we are giving to other countries. Them countries ain't giving us no money. Right. Why should we have to give them money from this COVID-19 shit? We didn't create it.
Right.
You know?
But we're all like, that's where the human aspect, we're all humans here, right? Like we're on a human level. The humanitarian aspect applies across borders and oceans, you know, we're all in this together type thing. But let me ask you this real fast. So when we talk about our future generations, like, what is it that you want to see? Like, what would you want to see changed from the way things are right now? I mean, moving forward to give our future generations the best tomorrow that they could have. What do we need to change?
First and foremost, I truly believe that we need to get rid of the squad. We need to get rid of Chuck Schumer. We need to get rid of Nancy Pelosi. We also, and this is a breakdown for me, you asked me what I wanted to see better in life. Okay, I'm a convicted criminal. A convicted convict. Okay, I've done 17 and a half years in prison for crimes that I did do and some that I didn't do. Okay, for the crimes that I did do, I pulled my time, I got out of prison, and I've moved forward with my life. Now, if I am an American citizen and I break a law and I have to face justice, why can't the politicians be the same way? And the only way for us to move forward to see a better America is to get Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, indict their asses, get them charged with what they've done wrong, and how the DNC, how they went against Trump, 16 days before he was elected in 2016, they brought up this Russian collusion probe, okay, and spent $42 million of American taxpayers' dollars for some bullshit, okay, indict their asses, get them locked up because they're no better than me. You done a crime, it's time for you to do your time. Get rid of them. Let's get America back to where the Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other side can at least meet in the middle. They can't meet in the middle with the squad because the squad and Nancy Pelosi and them are trying to shove down socialism in our throat. And we cannot move forward in America with socialism. We don't need free health care. We don't need free college. Give the American people the dream that we had, that my grandmothers had, and that the immigrants had when they first seen the Statue of Liberty back in the 1900s. When they came over here, they said, this is the land of opportunity. This is the land of freedom. That word still rings true today, man. This is the land of freedom. You cannot suppress our freedoms and our liberties. And this is a land of opportunity. Yeah. If this is a land of opportunity, why in the hell is all these Democrats in these Democratic states locking these states down and not letting the American people go out here and pursue the American dream? Don't take the American dream from us. Don't use COVID-19 to shut down America so you can push your political agenda. You shut down America, that means if you take a baby, you take a small child. I'm gonna use an analogy. You take a small child, and you feed this child a certain food, okay, and then you come back later on and you try to give this child something different, that child's going to be like, I don't want that, mama. But if that child ain't got nothing else to eat, and that mama keeps trying to feed that youngin that food, that youngin eventually is going to eat that food because it's hungry. And that's the same way with the Democrats is doing us with socialism. They keep shoving it down our throat until we have nothing left, and then we're going to have to eat socialism. That's what I don't want to see. That's what I don't want to see.
Wow. I'm looking at the comments while you're talking here too, and a lot of people are, they're saying that basically, well, they're saying free healthcare takes our freedoms away. But one of the things you said that, and they keep going on up here, but sorry, there's 3 different platforms I'm looking at the same time. But one of the things you said was that really stands out to me is the land of opportunity and freedom, right? And I think we misinterpreted what that means is opportunity. And by that, we have the opportunity to bust your ass and achieve. There are some things that I would love to see better done on a macro scale. I would love to see some things better utilized by all the people, or provided in a larger scale to people that really need it. And you see these on a very personal level with things that are going on even earlier tonight. But I'll say this, one of the biggest things that I can appreciate and look at is that it's a land of opportunity. And we have a great opportunity here to bust your ass to achieve. And one of the quotes that I love is, do today what others don't do, so you can have tomorrow what others won't have. But that's the opportunity that's provided, is that if you work hard today, tomorrow you're going to get results. You know what I mean? And you see people, and I've talked to many people, especially over the course of the last 8 months, that there's people that have come over that from foreign countries, and they are in love with the fact that they've been able to make something, from nothing. I talked to a guy who came in, he had $17 in his pocket, lived on the street, and now he owns a chain of 5 car dealerships. Busted his ass, you know what I mean? $17 and was living on the streets, and he worked his way up, and those are the stories that inspire me.
Let me tell you what should inspire you and every American that is in America. This is one of the most greatest achievements in life, Barack Obama. And the reason why I say that, I didn't like Barack Obama when he was president, but this is the greatest story when we talk about the land of opportunity. The black man was brought over here in slave ships, man. And in 2012, when did he get elected? 2012, right?
Yeah, well, 2000, to 2016, yeah.
In 2012, no, 2008, Barack Obama got elected. He got elected as a black man. So you mean to tell me this land ain't a land of opportunity? Bullshit. Because it's got so much opportunity in it that the black man came over here in slave ships and worked their way all the way into the White House, man. That goes to show you how great this country is. A person that came all the way from the bottom of the friggin' barrel, man. Imagine putting a mice inside of a 50-gallon drum, okay? And telling that mice, you got to figure your ass way up out of that 50-gallon drum, and he does it. An almost impossible task. You would certainly say that this mice is going to die in that 50-gallon drum. But that rat somehow or another found its way out of that drum. And that's exactly what the black man done in America. They were brought over here and put in the bottom of a 50-gallon drum. And over 400 years, their fight did not stop. And a black man walked into the White House, man. That's just how great this country is, man. And they want to take them opportunities from us. They want to take that dream away from us, CJ, to where we cannot rise no more, man.
Who do you feel? Okay, let me ask you. So 2 questions came out of that, and I appreciate where you're going. First thing I want to know is, who is they in that narrative? Who are you talking about as they?
Okay, I say the government, but I say one half of the government, and that is the Democratic side. Because just keeping up with politics for the last 6 years, some of the Republicans have said some things that matter of fact, Trump even said something I didn't like when they was talking about Columbus Day. And he was like making it Indigenous Day over my dead body. I didn't like that. I was offended. But do you think I was going to turn against him because of that? No, because his policies are too good. But they are Nancy Pelosi, Chuck
You really
Schumer.
don't like Pelosi. We've put that together. You and Pelosi are never going to go on a date. I know that much. Y'all will never make it.
Man, it's just because of the way she does us, man. You know?
So let me ask you this then. Okay, now we originally started talking about the Lumbee tribes push for federal recognition. Now, when that happens, I'm going to talk in the positive terms of when that happens. What does that mean for appropriating funds for the Lumbee people? And where would that money come from?
It will come from the Indian Bureau of Affairs. See, they're the one. The Indian Bureau of Affairs is over all Native American, federally recognized Native Americans in America. And what they'll do once we're federally recognized, when the government gives the Indian Bureau of Affairs their allotment at the beginning of the year, the federal government's got to say, okay, how much money are we going to allot to the Lumbee Indian? They're going to say, okay, X amount of dollars. Okay, and that's what the Cherokee's afraid of. The Cherokee's afraid that when the government allots the Indian Bureau of Affairs this money, that we're going to get a chunk of that money. But they don't realize that when the government gives them their money, they're going to have to give them extra money because we were federally recognized. Okay, that money will come from the Indian Bureau of Affairs. And to my understanding, each family, just like with the Cherokees, once we get our gaming up and everything, we'll receive revenues from the gaming, and also give us, better ways for health care. It'll help us out with education as far as the children. It would give us so much more, man. Because like right now, HUD gives the Lumbee tribe, I don't know how many millions of dollars, but they don't turn around and do nothing. Here's what they do, CJ. They'll take and they build these like projects. Okay. And then they'll go to an old Native American lady or husband and wife who's been living on a dirt road for the last 50 years, who owns their own home. It's just their home is so decrepit, they can't live in it. All they want the Lumbee tribe to do is to fix the house. The house is paid for. They don't owe no bills on it, right? The Lumbee tribe goes there and says, we're not going to fix the house, but what we will do is we will put you in one of these brand new houses over here in these projects, and you're going to have to pay us $600 a month. Wait a minute. Why would I move to the city? I'm a country person, don't love the dirt road. Why would I leave the comforts of the country, move to the city, and have to pay you $600 for a house? Now listen, this is the ass kicker right here. For a house that y'all built with money that came from HUD as a grant. Okay, that grant means that the Lumbee tribe don't have to pay that money back. So why do we got to pay the Lumbee tribe? It makes no sense. Listen. Okay, when COVID-19 hit, the government gave us $4.9 million. Okay, and right before that, President Trump, he allotted $450 million to the indigenous people of America. Okay, the Lumbee Indian was given $15 million of that money that Trump gave up, right? Okay, and then we get the COVID-19 money, which is another $4.9 million. So we're talking $19,900,000, something like that. Okay, now, none of this freaking money, bro, was given to us. Do you know the lie that they said? They said that this COVID money, each Lumbee family member would get $500. But then they come up and said, the only way you can get this $500 is you got to be 75 years or older. Okay, I met dozens and dozens and dozens of people that my mother right now, my mother's 72. 73, something like, no, 76. Mama didn't get no check. Miss Mary over yonder, she didn't get no check. The Lumbee tribe took that money, bro, and they did exactly what they wanted to do with it. That's why it's so imperative that we get federally recognized, because now Harvey Godwin won't have his hands on that money. That money will be coming from Washington, D.C. And even though I don't trust no bureaucrat, regardless, but I'd rather trust somebody in Washington, D.C. who don't even know us than to trust somebody that does know us and still will do us the way he does us. That man's living in right now, man. That man's got $1 million home over yonder, and we're living in.
We're talking Harvey Goodwin. We're talking Harvey Goodwin, correct? That's
Godwin.
The tribe. Godwin, sorry, Godwin. Yeah, Junior. He's the and so you guys know he's the Lumbee tribal chairman right now. Now, what happened to the 15 million that was allotted out of that 450 million? Where did that go?
Hey, I asked them the same thing, bro. They could not.
Hey.
You know what they said? Oh, it went to housing, and the way they said, they do it like this here. It's like they described it to me like a pie. Okay, so much goes to housing, so much goes to park and recreations, and this, that, and third. I said, well, listen. I said, if y'all are the ones that make the policies, why can't you change the policy around and say that more goes to the people instead of, the bigger chunk of the pie going to recreations or building new homes? I said, we don't want y'all to build new homes with this money. I said, we want y'all to give this money to the people and let them build their houses, or come out and help build their houses and remodel their houses and fix their houses. But they won't do that, man. We don't see none of that money, CJ. Now they lie and say that we do get it. Harvey Godwin's going to say that because he's a bureaucrat. But I ain't no bureaucrat. I'm not a politician. That's why I don't bite my tongue when I talk, because I'm not afraid of not what none of them's got to say, man. But the tribe, they don't give us that money, man. They don't give us that money.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, stay right there. I got something I want to show you about the Lumbee tribe. Stay right there.
Stay right there. I think you just fell down.
I'm hoping to show you some shit that will blow your mind.
You better have clothes on when you come back. I'm just saying. It's weird when he leaves like that, y'all, because it just seems like, what do we do now? But it is bringing up some different thoughts that some things that I'm curious about, and a lot of it is. Will he come back with a lit cigarette? Josh Olsen asked. I don't know. But we've kind of deviated a little bit from what we started talking about here. But one of the things that we did start talking about was, of course, push the Lumbee tribe get federal recognition, and now we're talking about, I guess, what's going to happen. So let me ask you, Bully, you get that federal recognition. If right now you feel that funds are already being misappropriated, how's that going to change?
Because when money don't go to Harvey Godwin no more.
Then it would go to a tribal council?
See, like Harvey, the tribe right now is like a trampoline. The money comes from Washington, hits the trampoline with the tribe, and it's bounced out.
Gotcha.
Okay, but it's not bounced out to the people. Now, we're federally recognized. That eliminates the trampoline.
It goes straight to the people.
Exactly.
Gotcha. And right now, the trampoline is bouncing into God only knows where, right?
Listen. Now, I can say this right here because I've been dying to say this right here. Now, Harvey Godwin, he has a secretary, right? She's the lady that signs the contract. Okay, for the Lumbee tribe. Okay, if I go there and I'm a contractor and I want to, work on homes for the tribe and the tribe pays me for doing it, she signs the contract saying, okay, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars to fix this house. Now, Harvey Godwin, the tribe buys some land down here in Roland, North Carolina for $1 million, whatever how much they pay for. I don't know how much they pay for it. Well, Harvey gives his brother-in-law or it's his cousin, one of the two of them, He gives him $1 million contract to haul dirt for this land. And well, the members, the tribal members up there, this is what the lady's telling me. This is my right hand to Jesus Christ. This lady, the woman who, well, actually, because I said Jesus Christ, it was her husband. He told me, he said, man, the wife don't want to get on him, man, you know. And I was like, I understand that, man. I said, but what's going on? So he starts breaking it down to me how Harvey Godwin is using this money because his wife tells him one night, he says, she's like, when Harvey told me to sign this contract, she said, she was like, Harvey, listen, my name is on this contract. And said, Harvey was like, oh, no. Everything's legit. Everything's legit. She said, well, I don't want nothing to come back and, you know, and harm me or anything. And he was like, oh, no. Everything's good. Everything, you know. So he gives $1 million contract to a guy that's got 2 raggedy ass dump trucks now. 2 raggedy ass dump trucks. When, just like her husband told me on the phone, she asked him, why are we giving this man who only has 2 raggedy ass dump trucks this $1 million contract to haul dirt for us when we can go right over here and hire this company that's got brand new dump trucks, levelers to level it out and everything. You know what Harvey tells her? I'm looking out for my people. He didn't say I'm looking out for the people. He said, I'm looking out for my people. Meaning he gave that contract to his cousin. Now, that one right there, I can only go from what she told me. But what I'm fixing to tell you right here, I can run this down with paperwork. Now, there's a landscaping crew right here in Robinson, in Pembroke, North Carolina. It's called Dorsey Landscape. The tribe of North Carolina gave Dorsey Landscaping $500,000 to keep the grass cut for the Lumbee tribe. $500,000. But now here's the catcher. Here's the ass kicker, CJ. Harvey Godwin, he owns a place that's called Two Hawks. Two Hawks is a place where you go there and, you know, you can get a job, go through Two Hawks and they'll get you like job placement. Okay. Harvey tells Dorsey, listen, I'm going to give you this $500,000 contract, but you got to fire everybody that works for you. They can come back to work, but they got to come through Two Hawks. Now, that's where Harvey gets his kickback at, because everybody that comes through Two Hawks, that's Harvey's company. He owns that company, and he's the tribal chairman. So now anytime he shoots out a contract, he can go tell that person he give that contract to, listen, fire everybody that's working for you. They can come back to work through Two Hawks, but that's the only way they can work for you. So he gives $1 million contract to somebody, and that person's got 50 people working for him. They go to work at Two Hawks. Two Hawks ain't going to pay you but 75% of what the company was going to pay you. Harvey Godwin gets the other 25%. That's why we got to eliminate the trampoline, brother.
Oof. Yes, Jolene Denson says that every tribe has a Harvey, it would seem, you know?
Yeah, man, we do. Everybody does. But listen, I'm glad y'all's watching, because I'm fixing to show you something where I'm really going to bend them over and I'm going to shove something up in them real deep. Now, what I
don't want to be
right
part of
here, say what now?
I said I don't want to be a part of going deep on anybody right now. Okay. You go ahead.
Okay, now y'all might not be able to see this real good. Okay. But you can see that right there, right?
Yep.
You see what that said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. My mother and my father had to go in bankruptcy a few years ago because, you know, we didn't want them to take our land and our house and stuff. Okay. Well, mama goes up there to the Lumbee tribe and she tries to get help. Well, they come into mama's. This is the dirty shit that they do. They send these contractors into mama's house, and basically they left mama's house in a worse condition than what it was in. So maybe about a year later, or sometime, I go up there and I tell them, listen, I want y'all to come and fix my mama's house, plain and simple. And they're like, okay. Well, a couple of weeks later, we get this letter. And please let me read this letter to y'all. It says, Mr. and Mrs. Johnny Locklear. It says, the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina would like to thank you for participating in our rehabilitation program. However, big word right here, buddy. However, we received a notice that you have filed for bankruptcy. At this time, we cannot render services to clients who are in bankruptcy. Therefore, we are closing out your case until you have documentation that you are no longer in bankruptcy. Watch this. This is from, see that right there, CJ?
Bruce F. Job, PA. Okay. Law offices, Lumberton, North Carolina.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, now it says right here, it says, I represent Mr. Model, Mr. Jonathan in the bankruptcy case. Okay, it says from the records of the Robertson County Register and Deeds, Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina Rehabilitation Agreement Deed of Trust Rider was recorded on September the 12th, 2017 to reflect the total grant amount of $20,828. As part of the rehabilitation program, my client understood that a central heating and air system would be installed in their home. Now, as I said previously, my mom's house is falling down. Okay. Okay, right here. It says, Mr. and Mrs. Johnny Locklear received a letter dated July the 10th, 2018 from a Mr. Anthony Peavy, Rehabilitation Housing Manager for Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. At this time, we cannot render services to clients who are in bankruptcy. Now, listen to this here, CJ. You tell me that I don't have a lawsuit against the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. Right here it states, 11 USC section 525 of the United States Bankruptcy Code prohibits a government unit from discriminating against a person or refusing a grant, a license, permit, or other similar grant to a person that is or has been a debtor under the bankruptcy case. So you tell me this, how in the hell can the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina write my mama a letter, and I just read it to you right there on live, stating that we cannot do anything else for you because you are in bankruptcy, but the United States Supreme Court says otherwise. The United States Supreme Court said you violated her constitutional right. And I'm going after that against them. But let me tell you something. It happens every day in Robertson County, man. They figure out ways not to give you any money to help you, bro. They literally, and this is another thing, I put my right hand to Jesus Christ on. I had said something about, I believe that Harvey Godwin and them, they have a program up there to teach people how to deny people benefits, because it was like that in prison. You know, a guard had to go through a program, you know, a seminar to teach us how to tell us no. You know, when we come up and ask them for something, you know, no, you can't have it because of this or because of that. Somebody reached out to me, and I'm gonna tell you who this person is. The day that I went up there and was arguing with the tribe about my mom's the bankruptcy, about getting her house fixed, well, there was a girl there, and she overheard this conversation. And I see her at the gas station a couple of days later, and she tells me, she says, listen, Harvey Godwin said he's never going to talk to you. He said he would never solidify you by talking with you, because he's supposed to have talked to me when we did the protest. And the reason we stopped the protest at 9 o'clock that night is because Harvey Godwin gave me a reassurance through a phone conversation with the chief of police that for me to set up a meeting and he would see me and talk with me about the Lumbee Indian people. He never done that. There's no transparency. None.
Okay.
Well, this girl, she's deep embedded in the Lumbee tribe. Bro, you wouldn't even believe, after I protested against the tribe, how many tribe members reached out to me, man, and was calling my phone and telling me about the dirty shit that was happening inside the tribe, man.
So, okay, it's a couple things have come up listening to you in the last little bit here that made me question. Now, one of the things that Berta Fox question she had was what you were talking about with the bankruptcy. She said, "Isn't that a government specialist program that they're applying for?" Like, this is what we're talking about. Like, we're talking about government funds, right? The when we were talking about the bank, when you were mentioning the bankruptcy, about how sorry, I got two thoughts going at the same time. Oh, I'm going to go back. We'll go back here. So one of the things that I'm curious about is when the Lumbee become federally recognized, are you still going to have access to the same program, same type of programming, government programming that you're fighting for right now?
We're going to have them and more.
Okay.
There's going to be so much more available to us, man. So many programs that can help us out. You know,
now,
listen, I'm going to put it to you like this. We have been oppressed for so long that a lot of the Indians, a lot of the young men in Robertson County, they feel like that there's no way out, man. It's like they feel like it's an uphill battle, and it's raining, and there's nothing but mud on the side of the mountain. It's like we can't get up it, you know, like Hamburger Hill, the movie Hamburger Hill. Remember that movie? Okay, that's the way they feel. But if we get federally recognized, then that rain's going to dry up and that mud's going to dry up, and we're going to be able to go up that mountain because there's going to be so many more programs that's going to open up to us, man. You know, like me, I want to be involved in it as far as saying, okay, we need a program for this, and we need a program for that. We really need a program to help program the minds of the Lumbee Indians that you can do better. Because we've been oppressed so long, and the way the tribe does us as far as like receiving funds, people don't want to go ask for it no more because they know they're going to get told no. And so that now their minds are programmed to, okay, it is what it is. We're not going to get no better. But once we get federally recognized, my people will be able to see that, okay, there's more doors being opened. You know, there's more programs that I can get involved with. You know, okay, colleges. You know, we got a community college down here.
Right.
Okay. But we can receive so much more, man, once we get federally recognized, man.
So what's going to happen? Anita Joe Shiflett says, if we don't stop the corruption now, what will happen when we get federal recognition? So that kind of draws me back to what we were talking about earlier, which is, I mean, it sounds like you've got some legitimate complaints. I mean, you got some very deep-seated complaints against the Lumbee tribe, right? Against, and now what we're talking about is the way that the misappropriation of funding that's come into the tribe, and the way that the tribe itself is being handled by its tribal leader right now. So I got to go back and I got to say, man, like, you know, that age old, you know, adage, you know, rather than complain of the dark, light a candle, my friend. And it sounds like you are right on the precipice of being somebody that could really make an impact on your tribe once you get that federal recognition, because all the things that are coming up, all these things that are happening, they don't, I mean, and I hate saying this, but this is not just in tribal issues now, it's across the nation. It doesn't matter to people up here, you know, like your mama's house doesn't matter up here. They really don't care. I mean,
hey, you know, he drives around in, he's got a brand new Cadillac Escalade. He's got a Lexus. He's got a $1 million home. He walks around in I'm fixing to cuss, gator shoes on. And I mean, the man, you look at him and you say, he is money. Now listen, where our tribal building is at, you go about a mile down the road and they are $500,000, $2 million homes. You know who they belong to? The tribal members up there in that office.
Okay. Okay.
Matter of fact, bro, when I go to work in the morning, when I go through there, I'm gonna take a video of these houses, and I'm gonna send you these videos, and they are Lumbee tribal members' houses, bro.
Do it. Do it.
We
Yeah.
live in single wide trailers, man, and can't get nothing.
Right.
You know,
You think that's pretty common amongst a lot of the indigenous people throughout the nation?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, but you know, like I mean, like I was in Leavenworth with this Indian dude named Yellow Boy, and he was off the Pine Ridge Reservation. And it's crazy because his grandmother was in that movie Thunderhawk. When they was riding through the reservation, there's an old lady out there hanging her clothes up, right? He's like, "That's my grandma, bro." And I was like, "For real?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so he starts telling me about, you know, how poor the Pine Ridge Reservation is and stuff. And you know,
Yeah.
I never really got into the political side of it, like their tribal councils. But you got to understand something. With being federally recognized, there's an oversight committee. There's going to always be an oversight committee. But with the Lumbee tribe not being federally recognized, there's not an oversight committee.
Okay.
You know, so Harvey really, he has to answer to HUD, but he can cook them books before he answers to HUD. But like I said, being federally recognized though, there's an oversight committee. And no one wants to go in front of an oversight committee knowing that they don't listen. 3-4 years ago, they went in there, bro. They embezzled. They locked people up out of the Lumbee tribe for embezzling Lumbee money, $31 million. And you know what Harvey Godwin and them said?
Money.
Oh, we're sorry. We didn't know. We'll put it back.
What do you mean we didn't know?
Put it back.
Well,
okay, where did it go to? Where did the 31 million go?
Well, not anywhere. If they're willing to just put it back, it must be sitting on a table somewhere in the back of the house.
It didn't go back, Papa. You know what HUD said? HUD said this. They said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You know, for y'all to show good faith, we're going to set up some payments for y'all to start paying this money back. Wait a minute. You just took $31 million and HUD's giving you a slap on the wrist and say, pay it back. So now you can take this 31 million and do whatever you want to do with it. And over time, with the interest or whatever, we'll pay this $31 million back. How in God's name can it be like that? No oversight committee.
Again, you're talking about things where, like we were saying before, how is that some people can do something, but where's the legal reprisal? Like, why are they not getting? No one's getting charges. No one's, like someone was saying earlier. They're like, man, that's straight. The FBI should be involved in that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Someone said Ed Rose says some of the things you're talking about are fraud and it should go to the FBI. But T.A. Moniz over on Twitch right now wanted me to ask you on a side note here, and it's come up a couple times now. If you know the South Carolina, and I'm going to say this wrong, Catawba Chief William Harris.
Do I know him?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay. Did I say that right? Catawba? Anyway. So no, he doesn't.
Check this out, CJ.
Yes, sir.
You can look this up on the internet too. In 1987, I think it was 1987, one of my homeboys, his name's Timmy Locklear, and another dude named Eddie Hatcher, they took over the Robertsonian. This is a local newspaper. They took the people in there hostage. And the reason why they done that is because Hubert Stones at the time, the head sheriff, his son Kevin Stones, who now is a federal marshal out of Wilmington, he shot and killed this boy. He was a deputy sheriff at the time. He shot and killed this boy. Now, they ruled it as a justifiable homicide. But I talked to the boy's brother, and the boy's brother told me straight up, man. He said, they killed my brother. And I won't say reason why on this broadcast because it involves illegal stuff. But they killed this boy. And the next day, Kevin Stones goes in front of Judge Richardson down here, or one of them judges. They dismissed the case against him. They said it was a justifiable homicide. 1 week later, Kevin Stones was put in the United States Marshal's office. Okay, now Nobody is looking at what's going on in Robeson County to the Lumbee Indian and how we've been treated and mistreated. So Timmy Locklear, Eddie Hatcher, they go to the Robesonian, they take it hostage. Now I just watched the video.
Someone said that was Timothy Jacobs, apparently.
Oh yeah, Timothy Jacobs. I'm sorry. Okay, now listen.
Okay.
I just watched the video the day before yesterday where a detective was saying this. A detective says, I don't agree on the way they went about it. He said, but it's bad to say this, that from all the bad that they've done, something good came out of it. And it's terrible, man, that a Native American, we would have to go to such drastic measures to let our voices be heard. And it's ironic because I was at the Robertsonium yesterday and I was talking to the lady about HR 1964. And I brought up the situation about when Timmy Jacobs and Eddie Hatcher had, took hostages at the Robertsonium. And I told her, I said, I'm not saying that as a threat or anything like that. I said, I'm just merely saying that, it's bad that them boys done what they done to get the federal government down here and see what was really going on with the Lumbee Indian. I said, but now here I am. I'm trying to get the government to hear us again, but I'm doing it the right way, the legal way. I said, but it would be terrible if someone, not me, I'm done doing too much time, I'm not going back to prison. I said, but it would be bad if someone down here just said, you know what? No one is hearing our voices. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to make them hear our voices. We don't need to be pushed to that point because a lot of people are pushed to that point right now, CJ. They just feel like it's hopeless, man. Yeah. It's hopeless, brother. It's like we don't have no light at the end of the tunnel, man. And it's scary. It's scary when you're walking in a dark room and there ain't no light. At least if there's a light over there, you know which way you're going. You know what direction you're going. But then when there's no light and no tunnel, you don't know which way you're going, man. And that's like us right now. We're like a friggin' ship with no rudder. We're just being blown whichever way the wind blows us, man.
Yeah.
And it's time for that to end, man.
See, you're talking like a leader right now. You know what I mean? Like it's time to make a change, and you got the ideas for how to make that happen. Let me ask you: why doesn't the Robertsonian cover any of the corruption on the tribe, or have they done any coverage on the corruption within the Lumbee tribe? They have.
So you got to understand something, man. All these people work together now, CJ.
Do you think they're getting paid off?
That's just like, okay, just look at Twitter. Okay, they wouldn't let that Hunter Biden story come out until after the elections. And now they're letting it come out. Same thing down here with the Robertsonian, bro. Censorship. They're not going to say nothing bad about the tribe. Now that they ain't got to. Now, if they're pushed to the issue, then they will. But if they ain't got to, they ain't going to do it.
Man.
They ain't going to do it. They're all in cahoots together, man. That's why I said, man, I'm not a politician. I don't get out here and walk lock and step with them. I create chaos.
Sometimes that's the agitation that makes growth. You know what I mean? That's okay. That's okay.
Getting back to me and you. Stephanie was telling me today, man, how, there was somebody in the industry saw you and said, this kid right here, man, he's got potential, and they was there like a mentor or something for you. I don't know the story, but like with you right now, brother, you just don't know how much you're helping me right now.
No, man.
With
I'm happy to do
my
it.
Voice, my people's voice, not my voice, but my people's voice out there, man.
Yeah.
I fight for my people, man. I love my Lumbee people, brother. I love my Lumbee Indian people.
I can tell, man. I mean, it's in everything you breathe. I mean, this is definitely a part of your soul, man. And
I mean, when I'm at work, man, my boss, man, knows not even mess with me, man. When I'm at work, don't mess with me. If I'm on that phone calling Tom Tillis or somebody, don't mess with me because I'll walk off this job. I'll leave this job before I let anybody stand in the way of me fighting for my people these next couple of days. Now, the next Congress, then we got to figure something out. But for the next couple of days, I'm going to be on this, brother. I'm going to be on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
What happens if the year ends, right? And and you got to start back over. How does that
Oh,
process
man.
look for this
Okay, well,
initiative to get federal recognition?
okay, a senator's going to have to take, or congressman's going to have to reintroduce legislation for Lumbee recognition. And so we got all year long to fight for it. So that means that hopefully with your help, learning this, live streaming with StreamYard and everything, and being able to get out there and let my voice be heard on more than just one platform, I think that I can get out there, man, and continue this right here and get enough people involved that where even Congress will have to say, listen, we got to hear their voices. They're just too loud. Because like right now, I'm the only person on social media in Robertson County right now that's really going hard on this issue. Nobody else is.
Sure.
Man. But like I said,
right,
man, I'm not going to stop, man. Not unless God stops my heart. That's the only way I'm stopping, man. But I won't stop until I see. I won't stop until I see. I don't care what the president is until they give us that slip and say you're federally recognized.
Okay. I mean, you fight till the fight's over, and that's what it's about. I mean,
that's what it's about.
Someone was telling me something earlier. It's like you can always tell when there's some shady doings or when something's not legit. Is when someone gets called out on it and they immediately back off, right? But it's like when you have I'm gonna call it like a holier cause. You know what I mean? When you've got like if it's something that's I'm gonna call it a holy cause or whatever, but I'm saying like where you're at. Like it doesn't matter what happens or where people want to pull you. Like you're gonna keep going to the bitter end and not waffle off. I mean, there's some things that need to happen, regardless of where you're at in the world. There's some things like civil liberty, like equality that no matter who you are, where you're at, they apply, and it just transcends across all boards. So it's good to hear that you've got the tenacity to stay with the fight because you know what I mean? It could be, they say it's like, priming a pump, you know what I mean? You're country guy, you sit there and you're working that pump and you get that one little drop, you know what I mean? And you think, man, it's not worth it. You walk away, but that one drop is a sign of water to come, right? And that's the thing. And that's where you're at, man. I feel like right now, righteous. There we go. Thank you, Joseph Smith. If you feel like your acts are righteous, there it is, not holy, righteous. And I think that's where you're at, man. Like you guys got to the point where like you had Donald Trump, you had a president of our nation recognizing you.
Yeah.
And the efforts that you are making. That's a big deal, man. Whether or not it happens in the next couple of days or not, like within a year, I mean, you think about the generations that'll be affected. I hope that anybody watching right now can appreciate that. That's really what it comes down to is being passionate, taking your passion and doing something with it, and then pushing through and understanding the motivation for the things you operate under, the why, and that's a big deal. From what we're talking about and everything you said, it's because you want to see your people do better. Like it's not just about
generations do better, man.
Right. And you keep talking about it. It's not just like, even if the Lumbee tribe is going to do your people wrong, like then the tribe needs to do better, and that's not just you're not one of those people that you see all too often that hide behind, like, oh, okay, well, just because it's a Lumbee thing, so it's probably okay. You're like, nah, man, if they're gonna mess up, I'm gonna call them on it. And I appreciate that no nonsense attitude that you have, which is it's refreshing, man.
Yeah,
it's very refreshing.
Yeah. Hey, CJ, listen, I hope that this is not gonna be my last time on your broadcast, man.
Oh, absolutely not, man. Absolutely not.
Yeah. But listen, it's 15.
Absolutely.
I got to get up and go to work in the morning. I'd say if I didn't have to go to work that morning, I'd sit up here and bullshit with you all night, bro. But
hey, man, you got to earn that paycheck.
Yeah, I got to feed my family, man. But I did this tonight, man. Because of how much I love my people. Because right now, I'm supposed to be in my bed right now, 3 sheets to the wind, getting ready for work tomorrow. But I stayed up late tonight, man. All for my people, man, because this is how passionate and how I feel so passionate about my people. And I hope that all you people that's out there listening to me will go and look up HR 1964 and look up the video on YouTube, HR 1964, and it will show you Richard Burr and Congressman Dan Bishop and them talking about the Lumbee Indian. And I have a petition. Matter of fact, I'm got to redo it, but I have a petition, HR 1964, man. I'm trying to get it signed in the next couple of days. I'd love to get a couple thousand signatures on it. So if you could, look up that. It's on change.org. It's on HR 1964. I'll post it on my page. But also this.
Where can we find your page?
Excuse me?
Oh, where can we find it? And this is where we're at that point where I really want to help the platform. So where can we find, I'm going to post it up here real quick and I'm going to link the comment. Where can people find out how better to help your cause? I put up HR 1964. You can Google that, figure that out. Is there a more direct approach they can take? I mean, coming to you directly, or is there, like you said, what was the change.org?
Okay, if they go to change.org, which, like I said, it's HR 1964. What I'll do is I'll take and I'll screenshot and I'll send you a screenshot and put it back up on my page. That way people can see it and go there. And because I'm gonna keep it real with you, I took and I'm on a different page here. Well, when I made the petition, I can't. Okay, the page that I'm on now is my mom's page on her phone number on her phone. So I would have to share it from off her phone. I don't understand. But anyway, I know I can go there and screenshot it, put it on my page, and then people can go to change.org and they can sign the petition.
Okay.
And another thing that everyone can help me do this, man. If you can help me subscribe to my YouTube page, which is Lumbee Nation, Lumbee Pride Nation, and help me get 1,000 subscribers. So when I do start doing StreamYard, I can do the same thing what CJ's doing and get the word of my people out there better. Because, I got 258 subscribers on my YouTube page right now. And y'all all know if I get 1,000 subscribers, I can do live and I can get the word out for my people.
Yep. So what I'm going to tell everyone is to say that again, Lumbee Pride Nation over on YouTube. I'm encouraging everybody to go check it out, set up notifications, and follow. Watch. You got videos posted up there already?
Yeah,
you got some
I got a lot of videos up there.
Okay, some of the requirements on YouTube is you have to have so many viewing hours as well. So I'd encourage everyone, if you're going to do some research, go check it out. Watch the videos, take a look at it, get some more idea. Got already people that are in here saying they're going to come over and check you out, watch your live when you do go live. Yeah, and so take some time, you guys. And whether you agree with everything that my man Bully is saying or not, doesn't matter. Stay informed, stay curious, and stay willing to be a part of the process. And right now, the process that we're talking about is how this man right here, who I met in the streets, and I can tell you, like, this is a couple weeks back, probably a month ago now, almost, and I met, just has so much passion. And I got to tell you right now that we're talking right now because I felt that in our first conversation. So I can tell you right now that if you want to get behind somebody that's on a push and a drive for something incredible, this is someone that I feel like you guys could definitely get behind, and you'll find some things. Like I said, like you've inspired me on a lot of points that we've talked about tonight. I really love your tenacity and your dedication to your people. I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful, man.
Thank you.
So anything you send me, I'll go ahead and post up. And what I'm going to be, I got some people that are already saying they've subscribed already. So I'm going to see make sure we address any issues. We see Patriot for America on YouTube said it's not pulling up. But then Joseph Smith here says that he subbed already. So get over there, guys. It's Lumbee Pride. It's Lumbee Pride Nation. And you can also go ahead and go to change.org, and you're going to look up HR 1964, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so change.org, and you're going to go to HR 1964. You're going to check that out. My man Bully here is trying to get some signatures to help get federal recognition. As per what Donald Trump and Joe Biden have said, they fully support. And something else I want to read you right here real fast, which is something that I thought was I really liked from Representative Bishop said a couple things. He said, for the people, for the opponents of the Lumbee recognition, including other tribes, it has always been about money. So let's not make this about money, guys. Let's go ahead and think about what we can do to help push forward and help get the things that these people could use, which is the medical assistance, the educational assistance, and not just a tribe, but in a part of our country that needs that help. I think it's important that we try to do what we can to help there. But he does want to say, it says that there shouldn't be disputed, guys, that for 3 centuries, the Lumbee people have been a cohesive and distinct community of Aboriginals, of Aboriginal origins. So there's no question about whether or not the Lumbee are a legitimate tribe. It's just about getting them the recognition that they've been fighting for 138 years. And I'll say this too, the one last thing that that I thought Representative Dan Bishop said that I thought was really touching. He said, the Lumbee are supremely patriotic Americans, God-fearing and washed in the blood and devoted to the liberating cause of education and to civic involvement. Proud of their community. Man. He said they're proud of their community, loving and welcoming to strangers. They are the best of America. And the only honorable course for the U.S. Congress is to afford them their due recognition at long last. And I'm hoping fully that as we talk today, that you are one step closer to making that happen. I commend you for all your efforts and the great strides that you're taking to make, the progressional steps on getting the change for your people. And I hope, honestly, and I know a lot of people in here are thinking the same thing, that you consider taking a more of a leadership role. Because I think, honestly, man, and I hope that you appreciate your self-worth. I know you said you spent a lot of time in a correctional facility. Has nothing to do with anything other than to solidify your views, your beliefs, and to put you through a gladiator school of experience that'll make you probably a qualified candidate to help lead your people to the next place of their development, man. So I wish you the best. I know you got to get some sleep, but we'll definitely be in touch, man, and I'll have you back on soon, okay?
Definitely, man. Hey, listen, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate CJ right here, man. You just really, man, you really touched me tonight, man. I mean, you just don't know, brother, how much this really means to me in this fight for my people, man. And I greatly appreciate it. And I greatly appreciate all y'all that has listened. I know I ramble a lot, but I appreciate that you listen. I appreciate that you subscribing to my YouTube page. And hopefully, man, I just hope it all the best for my people, man. And I salute you, CJ, for everything that you're doing too, man.
Hey, right back at you, my man. And
hey, man,
we're in this together now.
Every one of y'all. Hey, my motto is Lumbee pride, Lumbee strong.
There you go. All right, Bowler, get to work, get some sleep, and we'll talk soon, man. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Man. Peace, brother. All
right,
y'all.
Later, my
brother.
Man. Later. Yeah. Man. Good dude. Real good dude. So yeah, and Timonies, you know who you are. I definitely will check Discord for that. I'll make sure to kick that over to him. Make sure he gets all the information. Yeah, you guys, this is one of those situations where we have an opportunity to help somebody in a cause, or even just to look into it, man. We can look another direction. Like, we hear so much talk about the BIPOC people, the Black, Indigenous people of color. The big part in the middle, there's the Indigenous people that have been a huge part of every aspect of American history. No matter what we do, that's a player in every major part of American history. They're there. And so I hope that in all the things that we're looking to accomplish here, we can take some time to look outside of the sphere of the things that we're currently surrounded by, and maybe figure out a way to help somebody, or, if you want to get behind a cause, or maybe just better understand it. I know that I learned a lot just in researching for this interview tonight, things that I wasn't aware of, things that I didn't know about. And I think it's incredible that there's so many other things happening, guys, in our world. So many amazing and wonderful things that we could be a part of, positive change that we can work towards. And I hope that we're all leaning in that direction as we're kind of pushing towards the closer end of 2020 here, which has been, well, we all know how 2020 has been, but yeah, I for one I feel really blessed to have this opportunity to have the show here and to give, a platform to like my man Boley and everyone else. So put a couple hours in the night. It's been kind of a long day. Appreciate you guys all for joining. If you want to go ahead and get more information about the Lumbee tribe, again, you can head over to lumbeetribe.com. Pretty straight up. Lumbee spelled pretty simply, Lumbee, tribe.com. Lumbee Pride Nation. Check that out on YouTube. Go over and give that a look. And as always, with everything, I appreciate all the contributions to my personal show here. The efforts that I've been putting in are, you know, I'm putting them in. I grind hard for you guys, and I hope you know that anything you've done to help contribute to make this possible for me is a big deal, and it makes all of this happen. And so thank you all so much for being here with me tonight. If you could come on over to YouTube or to Twitch, we're going to be spending a lot of time focusing on all of our different platforms. Like, follow, subscribe, notifications, all that action. And if you're able to, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, if you're able to help, penny or a dollar, everything counts. And all of it goes towards a good cause, which is feeding this monster you see in front of you. So thank you guys again for tuning in tonight. We'll see you soon. And, stay curious. Later.